Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at a tool that can make creating geometry worksheets a whole lot easier, faster, and more scalable. It's called Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator. So, if you have ever wanted to publish educational workbooks on Amazon KDP, but felt stuck because making math content takes too much time, too much effort, and too much accuracy, then this is something you will want to see. Before we go any further, make sure you check the link in the description box right now, because that is where you can find my full written review article. Inside that review, I cover the OTO details, the insightful software walkthrough, and also my special KDP bonuses that will help you get even better results with this product. So, before you buy anything, definitely go and check that out first. Now, what is Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator? This is an easy-to-use, cloud-based app that helps you create perimeter and area worksheets and full workbooks that are clean, professional, and ready to sell. Since it runs in the cloud, there is nothing to install. You just log in from any computer with internet access, follow the step-by-step process, and start building your worksheet books in minutes, instead of spending weeks or even months trying to put everything together manually. What makes this especially interesting is that it helps you create error-free geometry content while keeping all the solutions correct and neatly organized inside your book. That is a big deal, because with this kind of publishing, accuracy matters. One mistake can ruin the value of the whole workbook. But with Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator, a lot of that hard work is already handled for you, which makes the process much more beginner-friendly and much more efficient. This software helps you create worksheet content for the main 4 geometry shapes that most buyers actually expect to see, including squares, rectangles, triangles, and circles. You can build books around the core perimeter and area topics instead of being limited to one narrow type of practice. It also means your workbook can serve a wider range of learning needs, from simple shape-based questions to more advanced circle problems involving radius, diameter, circumference, and area. Let's take a closer look at the kind of worksheet content you can create with 4 geometry shapes. The app also gives you much better control over the learning level of your worksheets. Instead of filling every page with the same type of question, you can create easier activities for beginners, and then move into more challenging problem types for higher levels. That makes your books feel more purposeful, more educational, and more valuable for the audience you want to target. The generation system makes workbook creation much faster. You can turn a layout into a full worksheet page very quickly, and whenever you want a different set of questions, you can regenerate them without rebuilding the page from scratch. That saves a huge amount of time and makes it much easier to create more content while keeping the layout and structure consistent. The built-in solution tools make the process much easier to manage. Instead of spending hours creating answer pages manually, the software helps you generate solutions for your worksheets much faster. You can also check solutions while editing and then hide them again for the final version, which helps you keep accuracy under control without making the workflow more stressful. The editor gives you enough flexibility to make your workbook look clean and professional. You can adjust page structure, choose how many problems appear on each page, add titles and instructions, move elements around, keep everything aligned, clone pages, copy sections, and reorganize pages more easily. So even without design experience, you still have the tools to create books that look more polished and more organized. The publishing features help you prepare everything for the final step. You can choose trim sizes that fit Amazon KDP, manage page numbering, check page margins, and export your files in formats like PDF, PNG, or JPG. That makes the move from creation to publishing much smoother because a lot of those practical details are already handled inside the software. Now let's jump into the webinar replay, where you can see exactly how this software works in action and how it helps you create high-quality workbooks step by step.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you. Hi, Steph. Good morning.
Morning, Niranjan. Or good evening for you.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here. So, hey, Brenda, I see you, Fadilat
Hello.
and Cheryl and Joy. Let's settle down in a few minutes and then we'll get started. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and make Brenda the co-host. Brilliant. Please give me a moment to open up a few windows that I want to show you.
To be honest, Mr. Perez, I don't see the point of it.
It's going to be a fun one, everyone, okay? So this is the first time we are doing something along the lines of, we are releasing something in the geometry niche. So you'll be introduced to some really cool concepts. Number one, number two, you will love the way you'll be able to approach this particular niche, right? Let me just open up a few books on Amazon that we need to take a look at in order to get a better understanding of what is it that we're dealing with. Okay, so I've got some books from there. Now let's open up Common Core so that we can use that as well, because every single time we do a webinar on one of the math topics, I think one of the common questions that we get is, Niranjan, how do I know what age group we are looking at, right? So we will address that today. Okay, so I think I do have all of the pages open. So let's get back to the Zoom screen and see who all have joined us. All right. So Liz is here. Hi, Liz. And Teresa has joined, I guess. Carla is here. Meg is here. Brilliant. So before we get started, everyone, how have you been? The frequency at which we do the webinars has probably, I don't know if it is consistent, if it has reduced, but every single time I come on a webinar like this, probably I feel I want more of these sessions, right? So how are things going on at your end? What is it that you're doing with the CVC app? Have you created any books? Before we get started, I'd love to know, how you're progressing with that. Any books created, any wins, any first sales?
I've created a couple of books, CVC words and CVC word families, and I sold the CVC words book. My first one, I just listed it, so
Lovely.
it's going.
Amazing, amazing. And Brenda, you mentioned there were some issues that we are facing, of course, like some template related issues, but then have those been resolved for you, or they are still pending ones, that needed?
They're still pending. The one he resolved the one template, but there was 3 others with the same issue, so he was going to look into it, but it's still not fixed yet.
Okay, fine.
And I think a couple of Megs are still pending.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll follow it up. So everyone, the templates or the page layouts. I mean, this is just to give you a little bit of information of how it works. So every single time you use a template or a page layout, that's not the core engine or the core element or the component, right? It is a layer. It's basically a design layer that is built on top of the core component. So every time the core component changes, it is important for us to go ahead and change the page layout designs, right? It just needs to be, I mean, it's a matter of 2 clicks for the team to do. So all they need to do is click on it, save as page layout, and that's all they have to do. But just that, the nature is such that every time a new component is pushed out or some edit is made, the page layouts need to be updated. So whenever you face any issues, please do mark the page number. And I think Brenda also mentioned this somewhere in the group. If you can just give us the page layout ID, there will be ID associated with it. If you can just mention that, then it will be easier for the team to fix it. And probably just tag me, okay? Just tag me in the group as well so that I can follow up whenever it's possible, okay?
I think most of the issues are with the full design set, and that's the set that didn't go through the beta group.
Oh,
right?
yes. Okay. I think that we can take care of. I think probably what we have not done is we rolled it out without having a proper QC in place for that. So I think that feedback is helpful, Brenda. I'll take a look at it. Liz says, lol, not yet working on creating a calculator to product for TPT. That's amazing. That's amazing. Meg says, I want to create the books with the full design set and be able to get the database working on the changed pages. Meg, I remember you shared some issues as well. Are there any pending ones from the ones you shared? Are we waiting on those to be edited or updated? So I'm currently working on work. Yes, still some problems. Okay, fine. I'm going to get in touch with Ashok and kind of take a stab at it. So I'm currently working my way through all the page layouts using curated A. Perfect. Awesome. So I'm glad that we are putting the books to use, and these are all niches that will be there for a long time, right? So whenever you create a book, please don't get disheartened if you're not able to whip up a book in a couple of minutes, like probably I say on my sales pages to get you to buy those books, to buy the software, but always be be putting in the effort to create quality stuff, because that this is content that has been used for years and will continue to be used for years to come, right? So that's what this is all about, right? Now, coming back to today's topic, today's webinar is all about learning geometry with Niranjan. How many of you absolutely hated geometry when you were in school? Can you just give me a me in the chat box if you were one of those kids who absolutely hated geometry? Meg says liked it. Brenda says me. Joy says me. Dai says loved it. Liz says I loved it. Okay. We have a mixed bunch of folks here. Okay. Glenn says loved it. I liked it only if it was ready. Okay. So Steph, I guess what you're saying is, so you didn't have to go to school. Is that right? I'm not sure what was that. I hated math but loved geometry. Oh, that's amazing. Like some until the harder ones. Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing, it was raining. The view from the classroom wasn't as interesting. I see now. Even two column proofs. Lovely. So we've got a group here which is divided. All right. So I don't know what to say. I don't know whether I'll be accepted if I say I loved it or I hated it, right? Whatever it is, bottom line is from here on, you are going to love it because that is going to contribute to your KDP catalog. That is going to help you make money. And that is something you'll be doing without breaking a sweat. All right. Without sounding like a marketer that I am, I just want to give you the confidence that you will have a lot of support that will be provided to you in terms of the pedagogy that is involved in teaching geometry, in creating or curating content. All right. So what we're going to do is we will go ahead and take a look at one teeny tiny part of geometry, right? So the niche as such is pretty big, right? It runs through a few years for kids. So, we will have to put in a lot more effort over the years in order to create a worthwhile catalog. But we'll start with something that is very basic fundamental in nature, and we will restrict the scope to something that we can actually create the books on and get those out, right? So if we go about learning geometry right now, we could spend the next year, right? We could do that and do nothing about it apart from learning it, right? But our objective would be to learn enough to be able to create the books and have them published on KDP and probably generate some sales from it. Okay. Geometry for elementary school grades are my bestseller books. Well, everyone else, that's a cue that Dai has given you. And let me tell you, Dai is one of the advanced users in this particular niche. When I say users, I'm not talking of our software. I'm talking of, the subject or the niche in itself, right? She creates a lot of geometry books. I know because she has been giving us a lot of feedback on what to create, what she would like to see in the application. And she has a ton of ideas that she has been sharing with us over the past few months, years, right? So geometry for elementary grades works for Dai. It could work for you as well. We have got a number of our members here who have been successful in the math niche, and this is going to be another feather in your cap. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at a very specific concept called perimeter and then area, right? So these two concepts are what we are going to look at. We are going to talk about perimeter and area worksheets. Okay, how are we going to create perimeter workbooks? How are we going to create area workbooks? What kind of knowledge is it that we need in order to be able to create those books and do that confidently, without having to worry if we have messed it up, right? So those are the kind of things that we'll take a look at. We'll take a look at the niche. I will show you some examples on what is it that we need to educate ourselves about, okay? And because you have quite a few members within our community who have a homeschooling background, who have a teaching background, who are actually publishing books in various math niches, I would once again encourage you to find a buddy, find a partner that you could, find an accountability partner who probably knows the subject, or probably you could deliver value to the relationship by being an expert at the software, and then you could collaborate, learn from each other, grow together, create some books. Okay, so this journey will feel alone because business or entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. You can make it fun, you can make it easier by finding a buddy who complements your skill sets. Okay, so what we are going to do is talk about perimeter and worksheets in this particular presentation. Now, the objective, this is not really a product review webinar. I will show you the application for sure, but this is not what we call a product review webinar. We do a product review webinar when we are ready to showcase the product and we are nearing the launch. So what we're going to do is talk about the niche, talk about the business aspects, talk about certain steps that you must take in order to understand the niche, right? And then we'll get into the concepts. I'll probably take one or two examples, explain the concepts to you, and hopefully make it fun enough for you to kind of, go back with a head full of ideas. And then I'll show you the application, the kind of ease it brings to you when it comes to creating this kind of worksheets. All right. So can you let me know if you understand what perimeter and area means? Okay. And there is absolutely no wrong answer. Okay. There's no shame in not knowing what perimeter and area is, because listen, we are business owners. We are not math enthusiasts necessarily, right? So we want to be able to create quality books, and we want to get into any niche where there is money to be made, right? So Brenda says, you're my favorite math tutor. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Cheryl says, yes. Who else knows perimeter and area? And if you do not know, give me a no, right? Meg says, yes, perimeter area were taught in primary school in my day. Dai says yes, Fadila says yes, Liz says yes, Brenda says yes. I'm sure I used to. Joy says no. Lovely. Okay. So now that we know that we have a little bit of an idea and some of us may not know it, we will go ahead and make it super easy and super fun to understand. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to have a clear idea of what perimeter and area is, and you'll never, ever forget it. Okay, that's a promise. All right. So when you go ahead and take a walk in the park, so there's a park near your home, and you go for a morning walk, you start from point A, you go around the park, you start walking, and then you come to the same point. That's the perimeter. So essentially, perimeter is the length of the four sides of the park that combined, right? You add the length and the width of the park of all the sides. That's what gives you the perimeter. What is the area? Imagine a soccer player or a football player. They have to traverse the entire field. Anything that's within that perimeter, within that boundary, that is called the area. So anything inside, that's area. The outline, the path that you follow when you go for a morning walk, that is called the perimeter. Now, this is a big concept that is taught to kids in their school curriculum or in the homeschooling curriculum. And as they move forward, they use this a lot. Now, this is not necessarily for younger kids because they do not get introduced to area and perimeter until they have gone past probably fourth grade, right? No, I think fourth grade they get introduced to it or something like that. We'll see what it looks like in Common Core. Okay, so that said, what I would love for you to do is give me a 1 in the chat box if you are ready for me to share my screen and take you through the few pages that I have opened up for you, on Amazon. All right, lovely. 2-3 grade here. That's excellent. Okay, never taught in grade 1. Yeah, I think that would be too advanced a concept for grade 1, isn't it? Okay. Right, so can you see my screen? Do you see that I have the application open and a few windows open here? Please give me a yes in the chat box if you can see me fine. Sorry, see the screen fine. Lovely. Okay, now before we go to the concept of perimeter and area, let's talk about what is it that you are competing with, right? Let's talk about competition. Now, a couple of times I have come across a few of my affiliate partners who tell me, Niranjan, the product is in such a small niche where the demand is less, there aren't enough players. Now, let me tell you something. If you and I are going to tell ourselves that there is not enough demand for area and perimeter worksheets or workbooks, that basically means either we do not understand the niche or we are not serious about our business. It does not matter what the stats tell you, what the competition tells you. Fact of the matter is, this is non-negotiable. You pick up any curriculum out there in this world. Okay, so if there are not enough books here, it's not because of lack of demand. It could be because of lack of supply, and that supply may not be existing because yes, that's it. So the supply may not be existing because it is not easy to pull this off, right? It is not easy to be able to putting lines after lines, trying to create that perfect square. It's just not doable, right? So let's take a look at one of the biggest brands we have on KDP, which is Humble Math, and this is the book that they have. This book has got area, it has got perimeter, it has got volume and surface area as well. So we are focused on area and perimeter for now. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the perimeter and area concepts, we will go ahead and read a sample over here and we will go through this. Okay. So take a look at the table of contents. I'm not sure if this is visible, but let me read this for you. The first section is area and perimeter. It has got 29 pages, then it's volume, then surface area, and then some word problems. We are not looking into volume and surface area. We are focusing on area and perimeter because that's what the application being released is all about. So we are going to restrict our scope to area and perimeter, number one. And number two is we want to go slow because there'll always be members in our community who do not find themselves in a position where it's easy for them to grasp these concepts, right? So for the benefit of the community at large, what we're going to do is slow down and look at these concepts and probably move forward one step at a time. Okay. Now, when you say area and perimeter, what are you calculating the area and perimeter for, right? So I could say, this is a photograph of me, Mithali, and Ishu. Now this is a rectangle, right? This one thing that you see here is a rectangle. It has got a length, it has got a height or width, whatever you call it, and the perimeter would be this. Okay, when I combine this, when I add this up, that would be the perimeter. Anything inside this, that's the area. Now this is applicable for a rectangular shape. It can also be calculated for other shapes, like, you've got triangles, you've got circles, you've got squares, you've got parallelograms, you've got trapezoids, you've got a lot of other things. Okay, now if you don't know what a parallelogram is, what a trapezoid is, again, you don't have to worry, because the objective here is not to come with a mindset where you know things, but rather to come with an open mindset and see what are the possibilities that this niche might have for you. And if it seems promising, if it seems like something that you would want to get into, then what would be the best approach to go about it? And of course, learning the concepts would be a small part of it as we move forward. Okay, so here, Humble Map, they have got 4 pages of rectangles practice. They have got 5 pages of triangles, maybe 2-3 pages of parallelograms. Trapezoids, they have got like 2-3 pages. Circles, they have got like 3-4 pages, and then mixed review and so on. Okay, now let's take a look at page number 1. Here it's given rectangles and squares, right? So the perimeter, now this is where you have to participate with me, all right? Otherwise, this is going to be very monotonous. It is going to look like one of your classes that you took in the school, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to participate in this, and you must respond in the chat box, okay? So this is a rectangle. It has got a length L and a width W. So because this is a rectangle, the opposite sides are of equal length. That is the reason why you see L written over here and L written over here. That basically means this one and this one, they are exactly same. Similarly, the width is also same. The opposite sides, that's the width, they are represented by W. That basically means the width is same for these. So if I ask you a very basic question without really going into the conceptual aspects of this, if this is the park that you are walking around, what would be the perimeter from what you know already? Can you give me what would be the perimeter of this park? 2L plus 2W. That's what Glenn says. 2L plus 2W. That's what Dice says, right? So 2L is equal to 2W. So Liz, I think you meant 2L plus 2W, right? Yeah. So the idea is add this number with this number, with this number, and with this number. That's what you would get when you calculate the perimeter of this. Okay. Now, when you have to calculate the area, the formula is you take the length and multiply that with the width. That's it. That would give the area that is bounded by this box. Anything inside it, that area bounded inside of this box, can be calculated by multiplying L with W. So L times W is going to give you the area. Now you might have a question, Niranjan, you might be remembering this from the school, right? I don't. How do I feel comfortable with this? Answer is simple. You have got access to ChatGPT. Same is the case with me as well. So if you have a doubt about squares, about calculating formula for square, you just have to go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, hey, can you tell me what would be the area formula or the calculation of area formula for a square? If I have a rectangle with length L and width W, what is going to be my area, right? So you have to get comfortable with these kind of promptings, because you now know emergence of tools like ChatGPT or existence of tools like Google.com has always been there for us, for those of us who wanted to move forward and kind of get things done. These resources have always been helpful, and they will continue to be of help to you, right? So take a look at this page layout. I don't know if this is properly visible, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems over here. There are some images. These images have dimensions given. And then there is area written over here and a line, perimeter written over here, and we have a line here. The child is supposed to calculate the area and the perimeter of the rectangle and write those answers over here. That's all there is to this particular page. Now moving on to the next page. It's the exact same format where you have different shapes or different sizes of rectangles with different side lengths and width lengths. The area and perimeter is to be calculated, right? This is what you see here, area, perimeter, shapes given. This is the fourth page, right? Now there is a reason why I showed you 4 pages. I showed you 4 pages over here. And the reason why I showed you 4 pages is because rectangles, they have a total of 4 pages from the table of content. 1, 2, 3, and 4. From the table of content, you can see that rectangles have 4 dedicated pages. These are the worksheets that you see in this particular book. You cannot go beyond this because those are not visible. But the beauty is we could see that all 4 pages have got this particular design where you've got the length, you've got the width, and the perimeter, and the area is to be calculated. Right? Am I clear so far? Are you with me? Can you please give me a 1 in the chat box if everything is making sense to you? Meg says, when I was a child, going to the post office for stamps for my parents, the postmaster asked me how I knew how many stamps were in the sheet he was selling me. I tried counting one by one, but he told me to multiply. That has always reminded me of area ever since. Oh yeah, that's such a brilliant example. Di says 1, Joy says 1, lovely. So looks like all of us are on the same page. So what we are going to do now is talk about the thing that this book is missing, right? Now, you might say, Niranjan, you probably are delusional at this point in time because this is a book which has stood the test of time. It has got 1371 ratings, multiply that 50 or by 50 or 100, and the overall rating is 4.6. People absolutely love it. There's absolutely nothing that this book could have done wrong. So we are not saying that the book has done anything wrong. All we are saying is this book has left a lot on the table. There is so much more that can be done with just one topic of square and rectangles, as you'll explore in the next few minutes. Okay, but before we get to that, let us go ahead and take a look at some other examples that I just randomly got hold of. Okay, now these are not my books. Okay, these are not books of our members that I actively know of. All right, so these are all randomly selected books. So if you go here and search for perimeter and area books, you will see that there are a number of books that are available and you can play around with those options. So take a look at this one here. If you see, this is a book that has got some triangles, you'll see some quadrilaterals and so on. But yeah, they pretty much cover the topics that we are discussing right now. Okay, now the biggest of them all is the Brand Humble Math at the moment. And as you can see, for rectangles, we saw 4 options. Now I have a question for you. Do you think if I have got one side of a rectangle that is available to me and the perimeter is available to me, can I calculate the width of the other side? A rectangle has 2 different lengths, right? A rectangle, if you go here, this is the rectangle. You can see there are 2 pairs of opposite sides, right? One length is L, the other one is W. So when you calculate perimeter, what you do is you take L, add it with L, that's 2L. You take W, you calculate with W, that's 2W. So 2L plus 2W gives you the perimeter. Now my question to you is, if I give you the value of the perimeter and give you the value of L, do you think that information is sufficient for you to calculate the value of W? Yes, of course, yes, but you are applying other math concepts. Steph says yes, Fadila says yes, just solve the equation for the fitting variable. Joy says yes, it is, right? Now, don't you think that worksheet is going to give the child another perspective of this problem, right? Now, they are not talking of joining length and width to create the perimeter, but decomposing perimeter to its constituents to arrive at the length and the width. It's always a good idea to look at the same problem from multiple angles because that opens the mind up. And that is what we are all about. All our applications that you might have seen are structured in a certain way where you take just one concept and then present it in n number of ways. The way you go about doing that is what delivers a great experience to your end users, because they become much more comfortable. Now, when they see a rectangle and you ask them a perimeter question, they're not just looking at it as an addition problem where you take the sides and add them up. They are actually looking at it backwards as well. They know that if I have the perimeter, I can actually break it down to constituents provided enough information is available, right? Yes, and especially with squares, only give one side measurement comes to mind. So including critical thinking, problem solving skills, absolutely. All of these need to be put together to deliver an experience that actually stays with them, a learning that stays with the child for a long time, right? And that is what this book is missing. Okay, all credit goes to the creators. They have done a fantastic job. They have been there, they are the early movers and they have been reaping the benefits of it. But what we are going to do is we are going to build a better mousetrap. That's what we are going to do. We are going to create a quality product and let it be there on the KDP platform for the next 10 years, generating passive income for all of us, okay, for each one of us, right? So now that we understand this, let's go ahead and take a quick look at how you would go about searching a curriculum and seeing where it fits in, okay? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because in the past we have discussed this and many of you are aware of the process, okay? So I'll just brush up the concept a bit here, the way I would research or the way I would want you to research the niche so that you feel comfortable with it, and then we'll move to the rest of the presentation, all right? So now the first thing I need to figure out is geometry, right? Do I have geometry in grade 1? The answer is yes, I have geometry in grade 1. So what I'm going to do is click on geometry. And when I do that, I'll see all of this, right? I'll see all of these things. So now I need to figure out, do I have area or perimeter written anywhere? So here, distinguish between different attributes. Triangles are closed. So this is all about identifying a triangle and so on, right? Compose two-dimensional shapes. So this is about composition, right? Partition circles and rectangles into equal shades. So we are not talking of area in grade number 1. We'll move on to grade number 2. Now this is how you do a little bit of research. I'll show you some other tricks as well that would give you a clear idea and kind of it'll solidify your understanding of what is included in these definitions. Recognize and draw shapes. No, this is not about area. Partition a rectangle, again not about area. Partition circles and rectangles into 2, 3, 4 parts. This is again not about area. So definitely area and perimeter is not introduced in grade number 2. Let's move on to grade number 3. In grade number 3, we have got reason with shapes and their attributes. Understand that shapes are different in different categories. For example, rhombuses, rectangles, and others may share attributes. Again, this is not about perimeter and area. Partition shapes into parts with equal areas, right? Again, this is not, we are not really talking of area calculation the way we know it, right? Perimeter and area, we haven't really gotten into it as of now. Moving forward to grade number 4. Now, this is where I would like to put a small caveat. This is what we are looking at for Common Core. It might vary for Singaporean math. It might vary for a curriculum that you are using for homeschooling. It might vary for what DAI uses in Germany, right? So this really depends on which curriculum you're referring to and what is it that you're using to create your books, okay? Now let's talk about grade number 4. Do we see anything that we have in terms of area and perimeter over here? Draw points and line segments. I don't see anything related to area over here. Classify two-dimensional figures based on the presence or the absence of parallel or perpendicular lines. Recognize a line of symmetry for two-dimensional figures. Again, in grade 4, we are not looking at area and perimeter calculation. We'll move on to grade number 5. Grade number 5 is where we'll start looking at the options that are available to us. Graph points on the coordinate plane to solve real-world mathematical problems, okay? So here, represent the real-world mathematical problems by graphing points to the first quadrant and interpret coordinate values. So this is not about perimeter and area. Understand that attributes belonging to a category of two-dimensional figures also belong to all subcategories. Again, we haven't spoken about the perimeter and area concepts over here. Now I'm surprised. I'm really getting surprised now. Grade number 6. This is where we'll talk about solve real world and mathematical problems involving area, surface area, and volume. This is the first time we start talking about area, surface area, and volume, right? There are chances that we might have missed out something over here, but this is the first time that I got hold of this concept. Okay, so now when you follow a book or when you follow the Common Core curriculum and you are creating books on, say, area or perimeter, you would want to adhere to the grade levels that have been mentioned here. One other way to go about this is to take these codes, because oftentimes you will find that these sentences or words are loosely worded. What I mean by that is, if each one of us finds an inference of tries to make sense of this particular paragraph, we would have different things coming up to our mind, and most of us would be correct. We would have some sort of logic going into why we think it says something, right? So that is where you could go ahead, take this code, okay, and pop it into Google along with the word worksheets, and then it will show you some examples of what this truly means and what this code encompasses. That would be the fastest way of looking into it. You could do the same thing with your AI chatbots as well. All right. So that's something that you would have to keep in mind and go about working with them. Now, I don't know why we didn't see perimeter somewhere, but you can figure it out. I'm sure it would have been covered in one of the earlier grades. So you'll have to figure out that way. This should answer your question about what grade levels I should be going for, what concepts, what grade this would fit. Like I think Dai mentioned it was in grade 3, it's taught in grade 3 in Germany, right? So if it is in grade 3 in Germany, it doesn't mean it will be in grade 3 in the US as per the Common Core curriculum, or vice versa. So depending on your target audience, you would have to go for the concepts. Okay. So now that completes our our part where we wanted to talk about age groups, the grades that you'll be catering to, understanding the competition, and so on. So what I'm going to do is delete all of these. I'll just keep Humble Math over here because we will come back to this. Okay. So can you tell me, as a creator, what options or what variations you can create using this? Let's say you have a scenario where a rectangle has the length and the width, and you can ask for area, you can ask for perimeter, you can ask for area and perimeter combined, right? What are the number of variations? How many variations can you create? Can you think of that? Can you think of the scenarios in which you would create a different worksheet, probably, catering to a child at a certain stage? Because think about it. Are you going to teach the child the concept of perimeter and area at the same time? Or is it going to be perimeter first and then you get to the area stage, right? You start with any one concept first, right? And then you would go to the next one, isn't it? Now, this is what we wanted to address. What we wanted to address is we should, as creators, have the ability to play around with the options and have all the options available to us so that we can envision the journey of the child through this particular topic. And based on that understanding, we create worksheets that supplement the education that the child is having. Right? So the pedagogy involved, right, or the thought process that you as a teacher bring to table becomes super critical all of a sudden. For me, this is great, right? But this is good for someone who is probably kind of looking for practicing this and has a certain level of fluency, right? If I am teaching a child who just learned about perimeter, just learned the concept of perimeter, I don't think this is going to be useful. You may have a different thought about it, but this is how I feel about it. And because now I'm envisioning that the child who will be using this book just has knowledge of perimeter and knowledge of rectangles, I'm going to need a worksheet where I just have perimeter and not perimeter and area, because having area when the child knows nothing about it is going to confuse the hell out of him or her. Is this making sense? Are you getting a feel for what is missing in this particular book that is so successful, right? Probably they have created this for people, for children who already have experience and they are going for fluency. But don't you think there are kids who need your help in terms of workbooks where just the perimeter problem is provided? That is what we are going to provide. That is what we are going to help them with. Let me take the comments here. Cheryl says, yes, Liz says, in the early grades, they measure things using non-linear measurements, paper clips, erasers, grows by gradual units measure, of course. Right. Meg says, yes, I might actually talk first about a football field or a tennis court in learning about perimeter. Absolutely. Very unfriendly worksheets, size, etc. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it really depends on the age group that they are looking at. So that's what would matter. But you can see, like, people are hungry for this content and they love when they get something that is functional. All right. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to turn this on its head. We are going to turn this on its head. So when it started with rectangles and squares, a square is a special rectangle where all sides are equal. That's the only difference between rectangles and squares. A square is also a rectangle, and the only thing is all its sides are equal. Okay. So now let us go ahead and take a look at the capabilities that our application brings to you. Okay. So please give me a yes in the chat box if you are ready to get into the application, to dive into the application, because this is going to open a world of opportunities for you. All right. This is going to open a world of opportunities for you. And I'm not kidding at all when I say that. Okay. So what we are going to do is open this application up over here, and I'm going to go here, right? Take one of these page layouts that we have created. Okay. Now, when you insert a page layout, of course, it will take some time because we are on a video right now. But the moment I get rid of this, this is what you see, right? This is a worksheet that you see that is created by the application. Now, before talking about the features, the advanced features, and so on, right? Can I get your first impression of what this worksheet is? Like, do you already kind of, like it? Do you feel this looks like a neatly organized worksheet that is there for you to kind of, move forward and start creating content? You'll see a lot of features that you are expecting in a bit. But what we are going to do is we are going to go step by step. All right. So let's see. Teresa says, nice size, makes it clear and not confusing. Yes, looks great. Kids need to understand that the result has the number squared. ICCM, is there a US inches option available? Beautiful questions coming in. All right. Now let's take a look at this. The first thing that we said is we want to be able to follow the learning pattern of the child. The child most probably will learn about perimeter first and then area, right? So the child is going to learn about perimeters. Can I have just perimeters made available to me? So the answer is yes. You can have a perimeter to be calculated when the side is given. That's what it takes for you to create a worksheet, right? And if you didn't know what your options are, this thing is going to guide you, right? So the application does not shine simply because it helps you create some worksheets. It shines because the thought has gone into it, not only to allow you to create worksheets like these, but to actually take you through the journey of a typical child going through this concept. So when you see this, it opens your mind. You start questioning, what are my options? Is there anything that Niranjan has missed out on that I want, but it is not there, right? So that inquisitiveness is what you need to succeed in this niche. You just have to be a kid. You have to have a lot of questions. How do you ask questions when you don't know a topic? You need a point, a strand to latch onto. We have given you a ton of strands over here to latch onto. You can latch onto any one of these and ask a ton of questions. In the process, discover that many of the questions that you're asking yourself have already been answered for you. Okay, so imagine this. A child is taught about perimeter, and what you do is you give them a worksheet like this where this perimeter is available, right? So this is how it looks like. Now you are talking about squares, right? Cheryl, it says area because this is not a part of the automation. This is a text component. So this is a placeholder here. You would have to change this, right? So what you see here is a page layout. I'll talk about that. The actual components would come from here. I'm showing you the page layout because it will look nicer to your eyes. If you go here, this is how the page layout looks. And then you go about editing it, you go about adding your text and so on. All right. So this is where you will be able to calculate the perimeter, right? Now, after you have calculated the perimeter, let's say you want to give the child a value of the perimeter and want the child to calculate the side. That is what we spoke about, right? So if that is the case, then you could go for an option like this where you ask the child to find the side when the perimeter is given, right? And this is all it takes really to come up with this kind of an option. Okay? Let it sink in. Let it sink in and let's make sure we understand this. What have we done here? We are imagining a child who is learning to find the perimeter of square. So we start off with the easy stuff. We give the side and get the child to calculate the perimeter. Now, after the child has got a little bit of practice, we flip the problem. Essentially, you are giving the equation and changing the variable, right? Changing the answer. So what we are doing here is we are throwing the perimeter as an input to the child and asking him or her to reverse whatever he or she has done in order to, in the previous step, to back calculate the side, right? So that is what we are doing. And this is how we provide ample amount of practice to the child here, right? Then the next step, when the child needs, say, area. So what we do is we go ahead and say, for example, you want to calculate the area when the side is given, you go for this, you calculate the side with an area given, this is what you do. Okay? Now, can we increase the complexity a little more? Because we have learned that if perimeter is given, the user can calculate the side, right? And if the user can calculate the side, the user can also calculate the area, right? Because the area is being calculated from side, perimeter is also calculated from side. So if we have perimeter given, we can calculate the side from it and then use that calculated side to create or to find out the area of the shape. So now we are increasing the level of complexity by going for something like this, where you have got the area given and you're asking the child to calculate the perimeter. It's now, think about this, what's happening? The child is prepared for this. The reason why the child is prepared for this is because the child already knows that he or she can calculate the side from area. That is a known topic because you have covered that in your previous worksheets. And then from that side, perimeter can be calculated. So do you see the level to which we are stretching this? The 4 pages that we saw in Humble Math, a book that has got 1,300 ratings, right? There's so much more that this particular topic, this particular subject, this particular shape had to offer that is not covered here. You can fill that gap, right? This has not been addressed in the marketplace in KDP. Probably that's the reason you don't see a ton of books that have like tens of thousands of ratings. Okay, this is not easy for people to pull off, if they're doing it on their own. Imagine if you had to create a perfect square every single time by drawing lines on Illustrator or Canva. I don't know, nowadays it would be much easier. But imagine still what is the effort that would be required to align the content and kind of, make them usable, look like this, right? And that, if you do not have the knowledge about the topic, it's going to be a nightmare, right? If you know the tools, if you know the software, design software, and know the concepts, even then, this is going to take you a ton of time. And that is the reason, everyone, why this is a niche that has not been catered to. And that is why this was such a big challenge for us. And we wanted to nail this for our community. Okay, so now we have given the child a problem or a worksheet where area is given and the perimeter is calculated. So we would also want to have the reverse where we give the perimeter and ask the child to calculate the area. So if I were you and I'm creating a book, how would I structure this? What would be the structure of my book? How would I go about thinking of putting the worksheets in a sequence so that it meaningfully contributes to the child's experience? So let me show you what I would do. I would start with side, perimeter, provide a few pages for this kind of practice. After that, what I would do is I would straight up provide experience for calculating side from perimeter, right? This is what I would do. I would enforce the skill. I would push them towards having that skill set developed where they see the equation from both sides, okay? Now, the next thing that I would do is this. Next thing I would do is I'd probably give them the ability to calculate area from the side given, right? So this is how I would go ahead and give them the ability to calculate or give the worksheets to calculate area with the sides given. And then what I would do is I would flip this. I'd give them the area and ask, no, I would give them the area and ask them to calculate the side. Do you see how logically I have provided them these experiences? Now that they know to calculate side from area, side from perimeter, perimeter from side, and area from side, this is the point in time when I'll push them to develop even more fluency and clear up their head, clear up their thought processes by giving them area to perimeter and perimeter to area problems. Okay, perimeter to area problems. This is how I would go about creating my flow. Now imagine if I provided 4 to 5 pages for each one of these layouts that I've created right now. I would have, like, how many pages do we have now? We have 6 pages. If I provided 5 pages for each of these, I would have a 30-page book ready and structured in a way that actually makes a lot of sense, that actually is designed to deliver a learning experience like none other book that is there on KDP. So this thought process is inherently inbuilt into the application. It's built into the application. All you need to do is have eyes that are trained to recognize them and challenge them. The moment you start challenging what is given over here, you are essentially asking yourself the question, why this is wrong, or why should I be doing this? And the moment you get that inquisitiveness into your book creation process, trust me, you'll be ahead of 95% of the competition. All right. So this is how I would do it. Now, here is something that I would do in order to extend it even further. The moment I move from area and side to area and perimeter, that feels like a steep step. There is one step in between, there is a side involved. Can I do something where instead of asking just perimeter, I can actually introduce a problem involving side as well, so the child knows, okay, probably this is an intermittent step that I need to take care of. So if that is what you want to do, this is how I would go about it. Let's clone this, okay? And let's come back to page number 5. Here, instead of going from area to perimeter directly, what I would do is I would go with side and perimeter when area is given. It is the same problem. It is the same process, just that by showing that there is an intermediate step in terms of side calculation involved in the process, I'm making it easier for the child to process this information in his or her head. And the moment the child understands this, next step, I remove side and they will know instantly, okay, the side option is not given here. That's not a question for me to answer, but that is my intermediate step in order to arrive at perimeter. Is this making sense, everyone? Do you now see why I told you that this is a very popular book that hasn't really done justice to the topic. And I'm not really putting it down. This is a beautiful brand. I absolutely love it. All I'm saying is there is so much more opportunity. This concept can be used to build one complete book that would sell for you on Amazon KDP, right? So now that you understand how we are approaching this, now that you understand how we are going about thinking of structuring our books, we will get into some revealing facts that will blow your mind away. All right, I'm going to show you a few things that is going to blow your mind away, and you are going to wonder, if this is reality, right? So before that, let me take a look at some of the comments that you've been giving. Multiple division skills, they would be by grades. Yeah, grade 5, grade 6, they would have the skills. So that's not a problem there. Love the layout. Wow. Okay. ICCM, is there US inches option available? We'll talk about that. Shell says, why does the perimeter? Okay, I answered that. Liz says, yes, the child needs division skills. Okay, we have got that. These are perfect for practicing square roots. They are. They are. You and your team rock it all the time. Thank you, Teresa. Liz says, were you thinking that the perimeter area app creates only one book versus multiple topics similar to Humble Math? You will be creating a lot of books using this, right? A lot of books using this. Grade intermediate step by step with perimeter. You answered my question. Liz, I'm not sure what question I answered, but as long as it is answered, all right? So that's how we are going to approach this. But then that's not where we stop, right? What we do is we go ahead and provide the design options to the creator. So you as a creator must have the ability what happened? I'm not sure why the application is not working. Give me a moment. Everyone, am I audible or am I just booted out of this webinar?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. So, so this is what we have here, right? Now, what we decided to do is give you two options where you could either demonstrate the dimension over here, or you could have that as a text over here, right? So that gives you choices, and our applications are designed to give you the creative freedom. You need to have so many options available so that when you create your books, they look a little different from the rest out there, right? So all of those options are available. Now we have also got this option for you where instead of A, let's say you do not want to use abbreviation A. Now using A for area, P for perimeter, S for side, L for length, W for width is pretty normal, R for radius, D for diameter is pretty normal in geometry workbooks, okay? But if you do not want to do that, if you want to go ahead and make sure that you want to write the entire word, you can come here, go for this option and update, and you will be able to see this. Now, if you want to move the side over here now, go here, below shape as text, and you'll be able to see the side written in the full word written over here. So you see the application is flexible enough to give you the choices that you need in order to make it work for you. Listeners, we could always put how to use this book introductory page, which covers all the concepts. Of course, Liz, you can do that. You can do that for sure. Okay, so now that we have understood all of these, this color options that we have in the middle navigation, this is available in OTO1. We haven't delved into the funnel yet. I'll talk about it, but I think somebody asked about the units. Okay, now when it is not abnormal to teach the concept of perimeter without units at all. Okay, it's not abnormal at all to teach the concept of perimeter without any unit as we know it. So the way it is taught is you can have a number without unit, and then the perimeter is calculated by adding the numbers the way they should be, and then kind of just writing units against it, right? And similarly, area can be taught where you do, even if you don't put the unit over there, it can be said unit square. Like, you just, let's say you have 5 units over here, you say 5 into 5, 25 unit square is what the area is. So whenever you are creating this, it really is your choice. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to create problems, sheets without units, right? If that is what you want to do, you have to go for none over here, right? The moment you do that, you will see that there are no more units associated with your worksheet, right? Now, let's say you want to go for cm, okay? You can go for centimeter, and all your worksheets now would have centimeter, right? Now, let's say you want to go for inches. Now, all your worksheets would have inches. So the application is going to give you the ability to craft your worksheets the way you want them. Now, let me tell you, what if we want to kind of make it a little more difficult for the child, right? We want to mix things up. The way you go about it is by selecting multiple units and now letting the child bear the difficulty or the the comprehensiveness of the worksheets. This is something that you'll be able to do by multi-selecting units that you want on your pages. Okay, now we do have some options where we are thinking of introducing conversions. We don't have it as of now. As of now, it's not there, but it is something I know we are working on, and at some point in time, we would be releasing it. That would be conversions, where you have the side given in meter, but the answer has to be written in cm or centimeter square. So you are not only doing perimeter and area calculation, you are actually converting the units as well, which provides that much more fluency, that gives a 360-degree coverage for various concepts that the child needs to learn about, right? So this is how the application is built. This is the foundation on which the entire structure is being built for this application, so that when you get to work, you would be the teacher, you would be the mind, you would be the brain, of course, aided by me, rest of the team, and the community, deciding what you want in your books. Is this clear? Everybody clear about the units? Combination will get used to the pattern, so do include centimeter, meter, centimeter, inches. Okay. Liz's question is answered. Teresa says, love it. This is perfect conversion. Let's say yes. Brenda says yes. Lovely, lovely. I hope you are enjoying this presentation so far and are happy with what you see. Conversion in feet, yards, etc. will be more difficult. Of course, those will be difficult. So that's what we are planning. We are planning to have multiple such conversion problems built into it, because these lend themselves nicely. One of the challenges we have had when creating these kind of applications is they have their tentacles all over the place. You could create this worksheet with decimals. You could create these worksheets with fractions. You could create these worksheets with multiple units. You could create these worksheets using conversions concepts as well. There's so much to do that doing justice to it is very difficult. But I hope whatever little bit of features we have built in for you is kind of giving you an idea of what is it we are thinking, the vision that we have for this line of products over the next couple of years, right? And if this gets you excited, I think you have a very good reason to think along those lines. Okay, so now moving forward, what we are going to do is, Liz says, is this part of math charter membership? Liz, I'll answer the funnel related questions in a bit. Let's go through the features first together, and then I'll answer everything that you want to know. Okay, so now shape naming. Now, how many of you remember that there's a way in which the geometric shapes are named? Meg says, sorry, I have to leave in a few minutes. Meg, no worries at all. We are recording this. You can catch up with this later. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Now, there is a way that the shapes are named, and the way is to name them by vertices, right? So I'll show you something right now on your screen, on my screen rather, and what I need from you to answer is, have you seen something like this while researching ever? Okay. Have you seen shapes where these kind of naming is done? This kind of naming is done. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and so on. Have you seen this kind of nomenclature used? There's a reason why this is used. There's a reason why this is used, okay? The reason why this is used is you will not be able to see the impact of this nomenclature or naming in a square, right? You may not be able to instantly recognize it, but the reason why this is important is because this side can be named by its starting point and its ending point. These are called vertices. The point where both of these two perpendicular lines meet, these points, these are called vertices. Okay, this is a vertex, this is a vertex, this is a vertex, this is a vertex. Okay, and these are called vertices. So you name the vertices A, B, C, and D, and this line segment becomes AB. Whenever you want to showcase this side, you say AB is equal to X or whatever number. BC is equal to certain number, CD is equal to certain number, right? So that is a very standard way of naming the sides via its vertices. There's another way of doing this, and that way is by naming the sides. Instead of naming the vertices, what you do is you say that the name of this side is A, this side is B, this side is C, and this side is D. Now you do not have to worry about not being able to use this because those options are available over here as well, right? So now if you see here, this is not written as side, rather this is written as CD. What does it mean? It means this length over here is 17 centimeter. And because this is a square, all sides are equal. And that is why every single side is 17 centimeter over here. Area can be calculated, perimeter can be calculated, and whatnot. Do you see the variety that's built in? This is going to give you the option to create books just like the school textbooks or kind of, the activity books that are created by big publishers. Now, there's another little thing, tiny little thing that is used in geometry. So one of the things that is not uncommon in geometry books is whenever you represent a shape with equal sides, the equal sides are marked in a certain way. So for example, if this has all the sides equal, the way of communicating that is to have a little line over here, same line over here, and over here. Now here, I think we have that option somewhere. Let me see if I can find that for you because I had seen it during one of the presentations that the team did. There we go. Have you seen this kind of this kind of a representation in some geometry books or worksheets while searching online? These marks that you see here, right? Because they are on the four sides, they communicate that the lengths of these sides are equal. Okay, so we have thought about every single aspect that you need. If you go through this navigation and start questioning the need of each one of them, you will uncover a gold mine of information that will come in handy for creating your book. Just taking this and posing a question saying, why do I need this, will get you some answers that will give you a direction, that will take you in a rabbit hole where you will be exploring. You'll be getting access to some gold mine. You'll be getting access to information that will be a gold mine for you when it comes to your books. Okay. Liz says, does it also show two lines are one length and other two lines are different length? Very good question. So what Liz is saying is, Niranjan, this is a square, so everything is equal, right? So you have one line representing, there is a mark representing these lines. What if we have a rectangle, right? In rectangle, the length need not necessarily be same as the width. They could be different. So why don't we try that out, right? So let us go ahead and see if we have any rectangles over here. Let me open a new page and let's see if we have any rectangles. Is this, there's no way for me to recognize this, but let's see. Yeah, this is a rectangle, right? So Liz, this would be a good example. Now this is a rectangle. As you can see, the length is not equal to the width. Now this and this are same. This and this are same. Now if we put the same mark over here, that would be wrong representation. What we need to do is we need to have some sort of a mark over here and a different symbol or a different mark on these two lines, right? So let us go ahead and see what the feature does for us. Do you see what's going on over here? You have a single dot over here, single line or dot, whatever you call it, and you've got a double dot or mark over here. Yeah. So this is how you create worksheets that look as if they mimic the biggest of publishing houses' work. They look as if somebody has thoughtfully crafted this by spending a few hours on your pages, right? Look at the way these are organized, look at the way they look. And this is something that you can achieve with a little bit of effort. And the moment you think about scaling them, it's super easy, right? So you bulk clone and regenerate, you clone say 4 or 5 pages, and you would have a number of worksheets that are available to you. These are all different worksheets. Take a look at this. 8, 3. You've got 4, 11. So the moment you have structured your pages like the ones that I explained, after that you could just go about kind of cloning them 4, 5 pages in one go, and you'll have your manuscript ready. Doing justice to your ICP, doing justice to the audience that you have laser targeted your content for. Do you see how we are creating a customer avatar while creating our book? We are actually thinking about what the user knows, what the user has experienced so far, what is the journey going to look like. And the moment you do that, you feel way more confident with your book because you know your book is going to be of good quality. But at the same time, you know who you are targeting, and that will shine in your description. A few lines here and there coming from you because you know your target audience is going to deliver the results that you want, and it is going to lead to happy customers, happy users. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what the application looks like. There are a lot of other bells and whistles that we are building. In fact, this is not how it is going to appear. It's going to look a little more sophisticated over a period of time. But yeah, this summarizes everything that we have here. Now, what you've seen is squares, you've seen rectangles over here as well. You get an idea of what it looks like, right? So you also would get access to worksheets that contain triangles, that contain circles, probably of various types. Now these are all page layouts. Okay, these are all page layouts. You'll be able to construct everything from here, perimeter and area components, like we usually do. Take a look at the triangles over here. Do you see the ease of use that you have when you're working on something like this? Right? The regenerate option gives you the ability to regenerate these worksheets on the fly. Think about it. Think about it for a moment. Take a look at this one. How beautiful does this look? Right? Now this looks extra beautiful because the team has put that layer of polishing. I mean, they have polished it to give you the page layouts, but you get the idea, right? There's nothing in here that you can't create yourself. Absolutely nothing. And the scale at which you can use this to create your content is going to be mind-boggling. All right. So is everybody clear about what is it that you're getting access to? Can I please get a yes if you are clear about what is it that you're getting access to? Suzette, Brenda, Stephania, Cheryl, lovely. Now, let me show you something that I have in mind, okay? And that is the variations that are actually possible. And this is not made up. This stuff is real. Just for square, where all your sides are equal, these many variations are available. You can ask the child to calculate the perimeter when the side is given. You can ask the child to calculate the perimeter and area when the side is given. You can ask the child to calculate the area when the side is given, calculate side when perimeter is given, side when area is given, side and area when perimeter is given, side and perimeter when area is given, area calculation from perimeter and perimeter calculation from area. There is nothing that is left to chance, or at least that's what I would tend to believe. Now, if you figure out something is missing here, we will implement it. So this will become comprehensive. I can't think of any. ChatGPT couldn't think of any, right? If you come across something, we will implement that. So what does this mean for you? This means that knowing that you have access to this, the knowing that these are the possible scenarios, you will start questioning yourself. Is there anything missing? Can I come up with a combination and surprise Niranjan? Now, whether you actually come up with that combination or not, whether you surprise Niranjan or not, the exercise that you do in your mind is going to help you create quality books over a period of time and make money from your KDP catalog, right? So similarly, this is what we have for rectangles. Just look at the options. And what did Humble Math do? Humble Math combined square and rectangle to 4 pages. One of my most loved brands on KDP, if you can say that, right? That's what they have done. And they've been kind of raking in those reviews because there's nobody competing with them, right? Nobody competing with them when it comes to workbooks. There are a lot of textbooks created by big brands, right? But there aren't a lot of workbooks that are competing with them. So they have been breaking those, okay? Now take a look at triangles. We start here. We are talking of right triangles, okay? We are talking of scalene triangles. We are talking of isosceles triangles. We are talking of equilateral triangles. Take a look at this. We are talking of general triangles. This is just triangles, okay? We start over here, row number 30. We go all the way down to row number 153. That's roughly 120, 130 pages, options that you have. Yeah. Or you could have a series, right? Think about this. Then we start with circle. This is what you have for circles. Now in circle, you use a concept of pi. Can you please let me know pi in the chat box if you know about it? Just give me a pi in the chat box if you know about a concept called pi. Give me no if you are not aware of it. Excellent. So many of us know this, right? So pi is a symbol that's used to calculate the represent a value which is called 3.14, right? Pi is equal to 3.14. Okay. Now pi was yesterday. Yes, yesterday was Pi Day. Google had a little icon on their website. So pi is equal to 3.14. It would have been crazy to kind of release the product yesterday, right? So pi is equal to 3.14. Now kids are taught to calculate area and circumference. In case of circle, it is not usually called the perimeter, it's called circumference, right? So calculating the circumference and the area in a circle can be represented in terms of pi if you are not going ahead and using the number 3.14. Now, once you have given children practice for that, you can then ask them to replace pi with 3.14. So we have got circle where you get to use all of these options using pi, and then you can use all of these options for 3.14, right? That's what you get. Now we have covered only 4 shapes. That is what you will be getting access to when we launch the product. Why? Because this needs a lot of education to be accompanying the product launch. That is number 1. And number 2 is it has so many variations. We would need our team to kind of just make sure that we are as comprehensive as we aspire this application to be, and then kind of we are covering all our bases. Okay, so that's the reason this is what you'll be getting access to. But the funnel is structured in such a way that you'll be getting access to parallelograms, you'll be getting access to rhombuses, you'll be getting access to kites, you'll be getting access to trapezoids, you'll be getting access to polygons, you'll be getting access to advanced circles, annulus. All of this is going to be covered, right? Now the question is, Niranjan, when are you going to release this? These are actually available with us, but we are going to lock it once the cart opens. The reason why we want to lock it is because we want to go about this in a very, very, very structured manner as a community, right? So that's what it is all about. I just want to take a moment to show you a few, other shapes that we have got. Again, please note that many of these will not be available to you because we'll be releasing them in a very structured manner. So this one, look at the parallelograms. So what is a parallelogram? A parallelogram is a shape where is a four-sided shape, enclosed shape, where the opposite sides are parallel to each other. So this and this are parallel sides. This and this are parallel sides. That's what parallelogram is all about. And that is what you get in this worksheet. Now imagine if you had to do this on your own and kind of, you are using these lines and all of that, line segments and all of that, it's going to be very difficult, right? Of course, AI can do a better job of giving you a basic shape that you can then work on, right? So this is what you see, you get when you work with the parallelogram option. Let's see what else we have. Let me just open up a few of these page layouts so that I can take you through some of these shapes, give you some idea, and then we'll probably move back to the funnel and I'll talk to you about it. Oh, there's so much more. All right, so this is what parallelogram is all about. This is where you calculate height of parallelogram. Again, the same concepts. The concepts are same. If there is a variable, we will provide enough practice to the child so there's no way for the child to miss out on a concept, and the child will be able to kind of work their way through, right? So this is a rhombus, right? This is a rhombus. What is the difference between a parallelogram and a rhombus? Because as you can see, a rhombus is also a parallelogram. The only difference is, for a parallelogram to be a rhombus, all its sides have to be equal. So in addition to satisfying the criteria that the opposite sides are parallel, they must be of equal length as well. And that is the reason why you see just one side has been given, because we know for a rhombus, all the sides will have the same length. Okay. Now, please don't get carried away with all of these design options, because this is not your core product. Your core product is this, the actual components which you'll be using to craft the pages. Okay. Again, these are all various types of problems that we have created for you for rhombuses. This is called a trapezoid. So what is a trapezoid? It is also a four-sided shape where only one pair is parallel, right? So this is what a trapezoid is, correct? So you can calculate the area, perimeter, height, and a lot of other things. Let's see. These are all word problems that we've got for you, okay? So you will have the ability to change these sentences. If the bases of a trapezoid are 17 meter and 13 meter and the height is 6 meter, determine the area, right? You can change this text to something that you are comfortable with, and then these variables would be there and these would be inserted automatically. Imagine the kind of scale, the kind of variety you can give in your book. Now, these kind of word problems are not given to beginner students. These are given to students once they have got a little bit of practice on the concepts. So now, if you remember the structure that I created using just rectangles, imagine if you supplemented that with a few pages towards the end where you have these word problems, right? And the beauty is this. These sentences, again, will have all of these options, okay? And this is not really, not really doing justice, because when you look at these options, they will be way more than what we have here right now. So for example, think about this. Here, area is to be calculated, base and height are given, right? So base and the height is given, area is to be calculated. The moment you change this to area diagonals given, it will change the question to give you the diagonals and you have to calculate the area, right? The moment you change this to perimeter and side given, you will see the side is this much, the perimeter is to be calculated, right? So when I show you a design layout, when I show you a style of presentation, you need to keep in mind that that presentation is being multiplied with the number of data sets or number of possibilities you have to kind of create your worksheets around, right? So it's always 10x, 20x, 15x, 4x, 5x, that sort of thing that we are talking about. Okay, now imagine this. Side is given, no dimension, no nothing. You've got d1, d2. You just calculate this, right? So this will be available for squares, rectangles. This will be available for triangles and all of those other options that we saw. These are all polygons. Okay, so you've got pentagon, hexagon, octagon, and all of those options will be available. As you can see, these are all advanced concepts that are provided, and we will be giving these in the funnel. You'll be able to pick this up during when you purchase the funnel. All right, so this is a kite. So what is a kite, right? A kite is a geometric shape where these two adjacent sides are of equal length and these two adjacent sides are of equal length. That's the reason you see 17 given over here and 9 given over here, because the moment you say this is 9, this is automatically 9. Now let's go ahead and show equal sides. See what happens. So this has got a single stroke over here. These two are equal. These are double strokes, so these two are equal. Do you see that? Now moving forward, you will see again a kite has multiple ways. As you can see, the reason why I've decided to close this and not release it with this particular launch is because I really want us to go very slow and make sure we are putting a little bit of effort to get those books out there with the help of the community, with the help from me, with the help from our orientation webinars, and so on. We'll get there. To some, it might appear as if these are difficult concepts, but trust me, if you spend a little bit of time and give me a chance to prove this to you, that guided by the application, the way it is structured, and the community we have, you will be on top of this skill that you need in order to create quality books. Okay, so this is perimeter again. We have got perimeter again. And these are all some questions that we have for you, right? Take a look at this. Take a look at these beauties. Okay, now I don't know why I did not see a very specific style of worksheet that I wanted to show you. Let me go ahead and see if I've got something over here. No, not here. Let's go here and let me show you. Yeah, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Now you might be knowing that I'm a big fan of smoothing the learning curve. I don't like it as a teacher when my child is not able to answer something or is struggling with something. So as a teacher, it is important for me to give the child the little wins along the way as the journey progresses, right? So that is why it is always going to be helpful. Once you have got the child to learn what perimeter is, what area is, you will be able to, let me just reduce this and increase one component so that all of us can see it. So what do you see here? We've got a square with sides 16 centimeter, and we want the child to calculate the correct perimeter, right? That's the idea. So if this is 16 times 4, or add 16 4 times, you would get 64. This is the right answer. So if you go here and choose the solution, you would see that this is the right solution. Correct? 64 centimeter is the right solution. Now, introduction of MCQs is going to make it easier for them, because now when they calculate it, they're instantly able to verify whether that option is existing here or not. And that is why I'm a big fan of anything MCQ before you get them to write the answer, right? Choosing the answer is easier, even though the child has to go through the exact same process in his or her mind to arrive at the answer. Having that in front of the eyes gives a lot more confidence as against kind of going ahead and writing the answer out of nowhere, right? So these are certain things that will be available as well in the application. All right, so I think I have covered pretty much everything for you, and in this you got an idea of the pedagogical flow that we will have, the comprehensiveness that we have built into the application, the approach we take as teachers when creating these worksheets. All of this has been summed up here, right? We will get to the funnel design. I'll talk to you about what the funnel might look like. This is subject to changes. This webinar is being recorded. So if you're watching a recording of this webinar, please note that anything and everything presented here may change and it could be very different. So when we go live with the sales page, we'll be that would be the full and final thing for you. Let's see, what are the comments that we have? Pi, yesterday was Pi day. That exercise would cause one to quit. Okay, Liz, I think you're talking about the design thing. Fadila says, trapezium. Teresa says, I'm learning so much already. Steph says, will this be included in our membership? I'll be answering this question, Steph, in a bit. When I talk about the funnel, Liz says, this is so much available with just the perimeter area and squares and rectangle. I'm glad that I was able to impress upon you this idea. Okay, you have no dearth of ideas and content if you know what is it that you're looking at. All right, so Liz, I'm glad you said that. Multiple choice is a great option. Thank you, Teresa. It looks fantastic. Brenda says, when you add the other shapes, will it be a separate app? Okay, so whatever we have got here, these shapes that you see, it will be included in this particular funnel, right? Now, probably, Brenda, I think I'll be able to answer this when I talk about the funnels. It will be much easier for me to answer it over there. Okay. So if everybody is ready, what we can do is we can go to the funnel design. Is that okay? Can you please give me a yes in the chat box if you want me to go ahead and talk about the funnel? Lovely. So apart from the regular stuff that we do, this is how it is going to be structured. In front end, you would have calculate perimeter when the side is given. You would have calculate perimeter and area when the side is given. Calculate area when the side is given. Calculate side when the perimeter is given. Calculate side when the area is given. So the way this has been structured is OTO1 has the more difficult conversions associated with it. For example, when you talk about triangles, there is a concept called Pythagorean theorem which comes into play, right? If you don't know that, don't have to worry, right? Just hear this word out. There is something called Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem, wherever it comes into play, has been placed into OTO1 because it's a little advanced, right? So when it comes to right angle triangle over here, you just have the basic ones given in the front end, and the ones that are complicated for higher grades and need a little bit of activity or need a little bit of experience for the child, that has been pushed to OTO1. So over here, you can see there are so many options given for square. There are so many options given for rectangles, right triangles, scalene triangles. By the way, right triangle is a triangle where you have perpendicular lines. All right. Right triangle is a triangle where you have got perpendicular lines. Let me perpendicular, what do you say? So this is a right triangle. Let me see if I can just find one for you. Okay, I think I don't see one over here right now. So it will be added at a later point in time. Okay, equilateral triangle is a triangle where all the sides are of equal length. Okay, isosceles triangle is a triangle where two sides are of the same length and the base is different. All right. Scalene triangle is where all three sides are of different length. So that's what we have in terms of triangles, and then we have some general concepts where you'll calculate the area, you'll calculate the perimeter, and so on, right? All of these are covered in the front end. Circle using pi, you'll be getting all of these options in the front end itself, where you represent your area in terms of pi, you represent your your perimeter in terms of pi, and so on. Okay, so this is the value that will be delivered in front end alone, and which will far surpass the competition. I mean, it will give you the ability to far surpass the competition that is existing on KDP in this particular niche right now. Just the front end. Okay. Now, if you're ambitious and you like what we create, you're a fan of the quality products that we create, you might want to take a look at OTO1. You get unlimited downloads, PowerPoint downloads, upload your own images to make them appealing to kids, right? Let me see if I can just hide this. Yeah. So here you'll be able to select multi-select option for shapes to create complex review worksheets. Now this is something that we do not have as of now, but in future we will build this. Anybody that has access to OTO1 will be able to access this. Now what does this do? So far, whatever you've seen, every worksheet consists of a single type of problem: squares, rectangles, triangles, and so on. What if I want to mix squares and rectangles in one worksheet? That is what will be possible with this particular feature. And this is scheduled or slotted to be released in future. Multi-select option for units. Now you saw that we provide you the ability, or the user the ability, to select the units. Now in front end, you'll be able to select any one unit. All of this will be available. You'll not be limited to using, say, the American system or the imperial system. You will be able to use whatever you like, but every single worksheet will have one unit associated with it. When you get OTO1, you'll be able to do multi-select options, and this will be available in OTO1. Okay. Option 2, have no unit selected. Do you see the option where we have no unit to be selected? This is something that will be associated with OTO1. It will be an OTO1 feature as well. Unit conversion worksheets for enhanced complexity. Again, this is not something that we have right now. This is a future release. We are planning to work on this, where you will have the dimensions of the shape given in a certain unit, and then you'll be able to convert that into a different unit. So the perimeter would be required in a different unit altogether. Now, there we could actually introduce a lot of complexities there, and that would even give you so much variety. For example, imagine you have the units for the side of a square in meter, and you want the answer in centimeter square. So meter to centimeter square, it's conversion, but it's easy conversion. But imagine if I gave something in meter and then have the answer in yards, right? So that's how you'll be able to drill down at a granular level and kind of select what is it that you want to play with. Color palette for text, shape, outline, shape-fill, you know this already. Answer line design options, these are all trivial features that we have in OTO1. You'll be able to use them. But these are two big things. And then again, you have the unit multi-select options, PPTX downloads, and unlimited downloads, which is there. But the beauty of OTO1 lies here. Take a look at what you get access to. All of this value crammed in to OTO1. We could have easily moved into a separate product in the funnel, but we decided to cover everything and deliver value to you over here. So that's what will be available in OTO1. Now, you saw some of these basic features or basic shapes having these many variations, right? That should have given you an idea of how we are approaching this as far as completeness and comprehensiveness is concerned. I haven't written down the line items for this because that would be a mile-long column that you and I wouldn't be interested in scrolling and watching. So that's why what we have done is we have added all of this to OTO2. Parallelograms, rhombuses, kites, trapezoids, regular polygon, advanced circles, and annulus. Everything has been covered over here. So in OTO2, you will be getting probably way more value than FE and OTO1 combined. A lot more value than FE and OTO1 combined. Okay, and each one of these will have the line items. It will be broken down like this, but as of now, I haven't bothered to do it because we are not opening up access. Whatever access you see to these components, right? All of these will be locked down in your accounts. For example, these, right? Parallelograms, rhombuses, all of these will be locked down in your accounts. Okay. Now that should give you an idea of what OTO2 is going to look like. OTO3 does not contain illustrations and images like we usually have. So we provide images and illustrations in OTO3 where it makes sense. For example, in counting worksheets, there was an opportunity for us to give shapes that you could use for counting, right? But here, they were not lending themselves nicely. So what you get here is all of the MCQ questions, all of the word problem questions. There are 3 different varieties of word problem questions. 3 different variety of MCQ questions. Just presentation style is in 6 different styles. Now combine that for every single line item that you see here. You will have a MCQ for this. You will have a MCQ for this. You will have a word problem for this. You will have a word problem for this. And you will continue for all of these options that are available. If there is a variation that we have covered in FEOT and OTO2 and FEOT1 and OTO2, you would have the corresponding 3 MCQs for every single line item, and you will have the corresponding word problems for every single line item. And the word problems are prepared in such a manner that you'll be able to edit the actual content. So let's say we provide you something and there is a typo. Out of all things, there is a typo, and you don't want your book to look unprofessional. Just go ahead, edit it, correct it, and kind of use it. Right? So that is what the funnel is going to look like. Okay. Now, while this is what we have in mind as of now, things may change because we are in the process of kind of reorganizing, reshuffling, and so on. So as we get closer to the launch and the sales pages open up, you'll be able to see what exactly is in there, right? Now, this time we are doing something different. We are considering doing something different. This is not a regular launch where we put in a lot of effort into marketing. Rather, what we are trying to do here is reduce a little bit of effort on the marketing side of things and pour in a lot of energy and time into the product itself. Because even if we did not market this, we would still be creating this with same level of enthusiasm for our members that are in the math and charter membership. All right. So we have got a monthly membership that we run, and there is something called a math membership, which is available for $47 a month. So anybody who is in that math membership will get access to this entire funnel. Everything that is shown here, everything that will be built in future, all of these things will be available to you inside of your math membership. If you are a founding member or a charter member, then also you will get access to all of this value and you don't have to pay a single cent. This is the value we had in mind when we released those memberships. This is the value that we want to deliver when we said that if you hang on in the membership, you will thank yourself for the opportunity. All right. So if you're in the math membership or in the charter membership, please keep your wallet away because none of this is to be bought by you. Every single thing that I've talked about in the last, 1 hour and 45 minutes will be available to you at no additional cost. Okay. Now, talking about the launch itself, when we launch this, we will be going ahead and doing something like this. So this is what the pricing is going to be. All right. So the front end is going to be $47. OTO1 is going to be $67. Now let me ask you one question, irrespective of whether or not you are in the membership, right? Just give me an honest, brutally honest answer. Do you think this value and what I have shown you today is worth $47? Is this worth $67? Can you just let me know yes or no, depending on whether you believe this is worth the money or not? I mean, probably that would give me an idea. Teresa says absolutely, right? And imagine the opportunity cost. Imagine the opportunity cost if you did not get this and you did not build any books over the next 5 years. How much money are you putting on the table? That is the question to be asked. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the comments that we have received. When you add other shapes, will it be a separate app? Brenda, so you might have got an answer to this. Other shapes that we have shown here are in OTO2, right? Will there be colored shapes? So, Teresa, do you mean shapes having a color of their own? Is that what you mean? Let me show you this, okay? Do you see this worksheet, everyone? I think this is an interesting question. One of the things I love about our webinars is the participation and the questions you ask. Because those questions, they show me, or rather they give me an opportunity to show you stuff that I would have forgotten, right? So is this what you are asking, Teresa? This is what it is, right? If you want to change the shape of your, the color of the shapes and you want to have a fill over there to make your book stand out, you can always do that, okay? You can make it lighter, you can make it like, you can even copy the hex code over here. And, this looks a little different, right? This looks a little different from a regular page that is all white. Liz says, Niranjan, my brain hurts. Brenda says, I think ChatGPT is going to become my best friend. Everybody should take a note of this, okay? Use what is given here as that little strand I want you to follow, and then go to ChatGPT. Start interacting. Get your biggest mug of coffee, right? And spend some time to create quality content, okay? That approach to product development versus marketing makes perfect sense. Thank you, Liz. Steph says, oh, wow. Liz says, oh, for sure. Like I said, Niranjan, this is a game changer and this is a perfect example. Well, that just interrupted my sleeping routine. Steph says, it's worth doing a book just for me to relearn everything. Love that. Teresa says, absolutely. Cheryl says, certainly. Liz says, absolute value. I believe you answered in OTO 1. When are you opening beta group? Okay, so the beta group probably will open within 24 hours. And we are launching next week, right? So from Monday to Saturday, one of these days we will be launching, and the beta group is opening up on Monday for sure. If you've applied for the beta group and have not got a response from us, that is not because we have not accepted you to the group. That is simply because we have not opened it up for anyone right now, because we still want to have a few more features delivered before we want our beta team to have a look at it. All right. So that's what this is all about, right? So you saw FE and OTO 1. OTO 2 is going to be all of this. Imagine all these line items, all these variations for these advanced shapes, parallelograms, rhombuses, kites, trapezoids, polygons, right? Just the polygon itself would have 3-4 variations, 5 variations. Advanced circles, you are talking of arc lengths, you are talking of probably calculation of area for an arc, and so on. Annulus is basically a ring. You take a circle, and let's say you take a pizza and you cut open a circle from the middle, so you have a ring, right? That's what annulus is, and it's a very special shape. It gives a lot of opportunity for practice worksheets to kids, and that's what we'll be covering. So if you thought FE and OTO 1 is where you are getting a tremendous amount of value, multiply that by 10. Multiply that by 10. That is what you're going to get here. And then combine all of these, present them in MCQ and word problem formats. You'll be getting this in OTO 3 for $67, right? So this is the launch pricing. Now, here is what it will cost post-launch. Now, we might change this a bit because, as I said, while I have a fair bit of an idea of what we are going to do, how we are going to launch, and this time we are going to try a few things which we haven't been able to do when we do a regular launch. We are going to try that out. So these are all tentative numbers, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Post-launch, front end will cost $197, OTO 1 will cost $197. This is a typo, I'm sorry. OTO 2 is going to cost $697, and Elite is going to cost $197, right? So this is what will be the post-launch pricing, okay? Now, we are considering a few things, right? So post-launch, we might remove this altogether, and because we have so much content over here in OTO 2, we might move this out of the funnel and do a separate launch just like this again. And when we do that, the price of the funnel that comes in here would be way more than $697, right? So that's how it'll change. So that is what the funnel prices is going to be. Now let's talk about the FAQs, okay? So the first one I've already answered. If you have MAP membership, you will get access to everything in the funnel, nothing excluded. If you have the charter membership or the founding membership, now I'm calling the founding membership as charter membership, right? That's what we'll use interchangeably. So if you have this, then you will also get access to the application, entire application. If you have puzzle membership, this will not be included because this is not a puzzle app. This launch will be a bit different from the usual launches that we do. you will get to know the details as we get closer to the launch. So please do not hold me accountable for the launch specifics from this presentation, because things will change. We are planning something very different. Beta access hasn't been rolled out yet. We are planning to get it done by Monday. So please expect this to be available for you by Monday if you have applied for it. We'll be going ahead with the launch this coming week. I still need to zero down on the dates, but it is happening this week. And you will get to know a lot more details as we move closer to the launch, right? So that is it. That is pretty much all that I had to share with you today. And I would love to take any questions that you might have. Brenda, are there any questions that I might have missed out on, or did we answer everything?
You got everything as it came up. So I've
Okay.
got nothing for you.
Lovely. Steph, yes. Needing a coffee, I mean, it's an all-time thing, isn't it? Glad to know when it's rolling out. It's coming this coming week. I have the money waiting in my account to school. Okay, so there's a funny incident that happened, everyone. But before that, can I close this? Can I see you all and talk to you? Is that okay? Can I stop sharing
Yeah.
this? Okay. Okay, so here's what happened. All right. Now, nowadays, I don't spend a lot of time on setting up the funnels in Warrior Plus. It's a lot of admin work, actually. And every single time I do that, I mess things up invariably, especially the dates, because, Warrior Plus has CST time zone. I have EST in my mind, and then I stay in India where we have IST. So I'm all over the place. All right. I don't know what time and date I'm on. And because of that, we have created a lot of problems for the team in the past. I mean, I have created a lot of trouble for the team. It's already Monday here. It's Monday here as well, Steph. So what happened is this responsibility lies with the team, and they don't want me anywhere near it. So they were testing something in the funnel, and I got three, four notifications coming in a flurry of sales coming in from this particular product. Okay, so this was already ready to be launched. Warrior Plus knew about it. They reviewed our sales pages to make sure that we are not making any outlandish claims and so on. So all that stuff was done, and then they wanted to test the funnel before actually giving me a green signal about it's ready. Within that, we got a few sales coming in. So I know this is a very awaited application, and after seeing what you've seen, I'm sure you recognize the value that is there on offer. But everybody who purchased, we have refunded, and it's not because we don't want your money. We do want your money for sure, but it's because we were not ready. We were not ready for the launch that's happening in the next week. Okay, so that is a funny little thing that we experienced, and I believe this validates the kind of stuff we aspire to do. It validates when your community is pushing you a little more to get things done so that they can get their books created. So yeah, I absolutely love that. Teresa says, "Oh yeah, I saw you were refunding. It will be hugely successful." Thank you, Teresa. I didn't know about the success and how we measure this. I would love for this to be sold 1,000 units or 10,000 units, but we are not going ahead with a regular launch. So this will be mostly for our community and some members and some affiliate partners who might want to jump in. But yeah, so this is the first time we are trying this out. Let's see how it works. But appreciate that. Suzette says, I have money waiting in my account to scoop the whole funnel. Suzette, you'll have to hold on to it, okay? Just hold on to it till the date I announce it, all right? Else we'll have to refund it again. Great validation. How did they find the link? Okay, so Liz, this is a fun thing. When you see, it's very similar to Amazon. On Amazon, there is a feature where your customers get to know about your releases when you have that pen name having some followers, right? So it is always a good idea to build a mature pen name over a period of time, right? So never underestimate the importance of that. So you gather a lot of people who are subscribed to get notification when a specific vendor puts out a product. So there are members that track us to see if we are putting something on sale. So that's how they got to know about it. Yeah. Okay, Brenda, you got that as well, right? Yeah. So that's where that thing happened. Liz says, find the link. Yeah, we answered that. Liz says, okay, thanks. I didn't say money, bought the Easter designs today. There is a Easter designs will be helpful as well, okay? Okay, everyone. So do you have any other questions? If not, we'll close this. And from now on, I'll spend time on creating videos to educate you even more in the group so that you get a feel for what else is coming and probably get to know this. Thanks again for the extensive deep dive. Liz, it was an absolute pleasure, for me to be here. This has been fantastic. Niranjan, thank you, Steph. And Steph, I have some good news. I'll touch base with you. So it's not really a Mac problem. It's something that's normal for everyone, the problem that you have been facing. I'll just have to explain it to you how to go about it, okay? So we'll do that. Joyce says, thank you, Niranjan. Fidelis says, thank you. Alrighty, everyone. Appreciate you being here today. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And if you're in the membership, congratulations. I really hope you see the value in the decision that you made for being a part of it, okay? So yeah, keep creating those quality books, keep growing, and I'll see you soon. Susan says, your best. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Cheryl says, thanks so much. I'm so happy I'm getting it. Awesomeness. So we'll connect soon, and I'll be sharing some really nice features with you as and when the engineering team reveals them to me. Okay, bye. Take care.
The front-end offer gives you the core tools to create professional-looking perimeter and area worksheets and workbooks for KDP. Inside the front end, you get a point-and-click dashboard for creating worksheet pages for squares, rectangles, triangles, and circles. You also get multiple trim size options, page numbering controls, and KDP-friendly margin settings to help you format your workbook properly. On top of that, the front end includes multiple difficulty levels, smart dimension control, automatic solution page creation, different solution layouts, instant problem regeneration, and support for both metric and imperial units. You can also customize titles, descriptions, and instructions with the drag-and-drop text editor. Choose from a large font library and download your worksheets or full workbooks in PDF, PNG, or JPG. It also comes with editing tools like page cloning, copy and paste, zoom control, snap-to-grid support, built-in training, and access to support. So for most users, this gives you the main system you need to start creating and publishing workbook content. OTO 1 is Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator Pro Upgrade. This one is for users who want more flexibility, more design control, and fewer limits. It adds more advanced perimeter and area problem types for squares, rectangles, triangles, and circles, and it also removes the download cap by giving you unlimited book downloads. On top of that, you can export in PPTX format, upload your own images for custom page design, use bulk clone for faster manuscript creation, unlock unlimited color palette control, mix different units inside the same worksheet, and use more advanced answer line styles. So this Pro upgrade is really aimed at people who want more freedom and more power when building their books. OTO2 is Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator Premium. This upgrade is focused on expanding the kinds of worksheet books you can create. Instead of stopping at the core shapes, it unlocks more geometry categories like parallelograms, rhombus, trapezoids, polygons, kites, advanced circles, and annulus. It also includes access to the 7-in-1 apps, QuickBook Creator on steroids, and template access at this level. So if your goal is to build a much wider workbook catalog and cover more geometry topics, this is the upgrade that really broadens your content range. OTO 3 is Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator Elite. This upgrade focuses on word problems, which can add much more educational value and variety to your workbook. Instead of only creating shape-based calculation pages, you can also create word problem worksheets using the shapes unlocked across the front end, OTO1 and OTO2. It includes high-quality word problem page layouts and editable word problem text directly inside the app, which makes it easier to create more realistic and engaging practice pages. If you grab the main product through my link, you're also getting my exclusive bonus packages. Let me show you some of them in this video. Package 1. Create Brand and Profit Vault, a bonus package built to help you create content faster, brand your stuff professionally, and monetize smarter. Inside the vault, you'll get content plus video creation tools like Article Buddy Pro and Auto Video Creator, so you can produce articles and videos without getting stuck. For lead generation and selling, you're also getting Customer List Builder, plus training-style bonuses like Selling to the World and e-commerce fire sale to help you turn views and clicks into real sales. Then for branding and design, you'll have Logo Studio, 123 logo kit, and 300 logo templates, so you can put together a clean logo and consistent look in minutes. And to make your visuals instantly look more premium, you'll also receive a full set of creative assets, including HD video motion backgrounds, abstract image collection, graphics empire, whiteboard SVG graphics bundle, and miscellaneous stock photos, perfect for thumbnails, landing pages, and video scenes. Finally, if you plan to sell digital products, you'll love the Kindle e-cover pack plus graphics ever, 50 e-covers and headers, to make your offers look like paid products. And you've got a few extra creative tools too, like Vector Cartoon Package, Turbo GIF Animator, Facebook Timeline Cover, and Teespring Instant Cash for extra monetization angles. Package 2. The 2026 AI Moneymaker Bootcamp Vault. This bonus package is about one thing, helping you start earning online with AI. Inside, you're getting a stack of trainings like Create and Monetize Your Own AI Influencer and the Zero Product AI Income System. So even if you don't have your own product, you can still start generating income by promoting winning offers with AI doing the heavy lifting. You'll also get the YouTube Autopilot AI system, long-form content, to build a content engine that can grow views and monetization consistently, plus the PDF income machine and copy-to-cash digital product system if you want to create quick digital products and start selling. And for the higher income route, Build and Sell AI Automations shows you how to package simple AI systems for businesses and get paid for it, often on a monthly basis. You get multiple proven paths: influencer, affiliate, YouTube, PDFs, digital products, and automations, so you can choose the one that fits you and start moving fast. This video only showed part of what's included. There are even more bonuses waiting for you. Click the link in the description below to see the full breakdown.
Now, I want to take a few minutes to talk about something very special. When you grab this product through my link, you're also getting my exclusive bonus package. These bonuses are carefully handpicked to help you in the areas that matter most: video creation, content generation, traffic growth, and SEO. I hope they can save you time, cut costs, and make your online journey smooth and successful. Let me walk you through some of the highlights, and I'll also show you short demos so you can see how powerful these tools really are. First up, AI Supreme, an all-in-one marketing powerhouse. With just a single login, you unlock more than 25 premium marketing apps, all under one roof. No installations, no complicated setup. For example, let's say you need a website. Inside AI Supreme, you'll find a Wix-style website builder that lets you design a professional site in minutes. Just pick a template, drag and drop, and your site is live. Or maybe you want to capture leads and sell offers. The funnel builder comes loaded with ready-made lead funnels, promo funnels, and even viral funnels you can customize instantly. Need content? The built-in AI writer does the heavy lifting. Just select your target language, choose the tone, give it a short description, and boom, you get ready-to-use content that sounds professional and natural. And my personal favorite, AI agents. Imagine having a team of professionals, writers, designers, coders, marketers, available 24/7, ready to complete any task you throw at them. That's exactly what AI agents does. You can even create chatbots to engage with your audience automatically. Next is Goofy Shorts AI, perfect for short-form video creation. As you know, platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts are exploding right now, and this tool makes it super easy to tap into that traffic. All you do is choose your format, whether it's TikTok, Instagram Reel, whiteboard explicable, or image-based video. Then Goofy Shorts AI creates your video in just a few clicks. Plus, you can generate AI-powered voiceovers directly inside the app, so you don't even need to record yourself. Once your video is ready, you can instantly share it across multiple platforms to maximize reach and engagement. Moving on, you'll also get Tubitraffic AI, which builds out a complete YouTube business for you. Here's how it works. Simply enter some keywords, and the software pulls up tons of relevant videos that are already proven to get views. From there, you can select the ones you want, and the tool automatically fills in video titles, descriptions, and tags optimized for traffic. You can customize the content however you like. And the best part? You can insert your own affiliate offers directly inside the videos. That means you're not just getting views, you're turning those views into commissions. Another incredible bonus is Super VA. Think of this as your ultimate virtual assistant powered by AI. Instead of spending hours writing content, designing graphics, or even coding, you can simply type in a prompt or use one of the pre-written ones, and Super VA will complete the task for you. It covers hundreds of marketing tasks with zero restrictions and zero setup. It's like hiring a full-time assistant team, but without the massive cost. You'll also get News Broadcasting Sites Builder. This one is perfect if you want to create passive income streams. With just a few clicks, you can launch fully automated news sites in virtually any niche: sports, travel, gaming, affiliate marketing, you name it. The software designs a professional website, generates fresh content with relevant images, and even updates itself automatically every day. So while you're busy doing your things, your news site is quietly attracting visitors and generating income in the background. And here's a huge one. You'll also get a library of over 500 premium done-for-you courses with master resale rights. You can totally use them to learn, turn them into your own products, or even resell them to kickstart your online biz. Topics cover marketing, business growth, traffic, social media, and much more, giving you a ready-made catalog of digital assets to profit from. Imagine adding these courses to your own funnel or selling them directly for instant cash flow. It's like starting your business with products already done for you. And these are just the main bonuses I wanted to highlight. On top of these, you'll also unlock many more special tools that I haven't even had time to show here. To check out the full list and claim your bonuses, just click the bonus link in the description below.
So that wraps up my perimeter and area worksheets generator review. I'll also be showing you some of those bonuses in just a moment, so you can see exactly how they add extra value on top of perimeter and area worksheets generator. If you are looking for a workbook creation tool that helps you build perimeter and area worksheets faster, create professional-looking geometry books, and turn that into long-term KDP products without needing advanced design or math skills, then Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator is definitely worth a closer look. Now, before you decide, I highly recommend checking out my full Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator review linked in the description below. On that page, you will find a complete walkthrough and demo, a full pricing and OTO breakdown, an honest look at who this product is best for, and my exclusive KDP bonus package that helps you get even better results with your workbook publishing business. Those bonuses are meant to help you get more value from the perimeter and area worksheets generator and improve your overall results, not just with this one tool, but with the bigger process of creating, publishing, and growing your KDP workbook business. So, if you are serious about creating and selling geometry workbooks on Amazon KDP, click the link in the description, check out the full review, watch the demos, and see whether Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator is the right fit for you. Thanks so much for watching this Perimeter and Area Worksheets Generator review. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey fam, Niranjan here. Hope you are doing good. This is the first video in a series of videos that I'm creating to educate you about the niche that we are going to release our next product in. And this is, as you know, the first product in the geometry series that we are rolling out, and I could not be more excited than I am right now, because this is something that has been in the works for about 3 years now, and many of you have seen it, especially those in the membership. You have seen glimpses of what it is going to look like, and you've been asking one question pretty relentlessly: Niranjan, when is it you are going to release these applications? So the first one is going to release very soon, and in order for you to take advantage of it, I'm assuming that we are starting from the basics. All right, I'm not taking into consideration that we have a lot of our members who are advanced users. All right, I'm considering that we'll be starting from the basics, where we will make an assumption that we don't know anything else apart from the fact that there are a few shapes and there is something called perimeter and geometry, perimeter and area associated with those shapes, right? So we'll take our understanding from that level and build enough understanding about the topic, about the subject, so that you can create quality content and, most importantly, create and sell books on Amazon KDP. So this is one niche where learning alongside me and then kind of implementing in your business would be super critical. So please be open to the training that you get, or please be feel free to ask questions and so on. There are a lot of our members that I personally know of who are experts in this particular field, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you out if this is not your strong forte. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. The value of being in a tribe comes from the fact that my weaknesses, I can leverage somebody else's strengths, right, who is in the community, and in return what I can do is help out someone who is struggling with one particular aspect of content creation where I probably am good at. Okay, so that is something that is going to be very useful, very important to leverage each other's skills. But as far as the basics are concerned, I'm going to do a comprehensive job of trying and explaining all of this concept. So as you can see, we are now focusing on creating this content beforehand so that you understand the basics first, and then we will get to the pre-launch webinars, orientation webinars, and so on, where we will emphasize on how to use the application for creating your books. Okay, so in this particular video, what we will do is we'll start a series called Introduction to Geometry Shapes, and in this video, right, we are going to focus on one geometry shape, and that is called square. Okay, now many of you would know what a square is, but as I said, we'll make an assumption that we are new to this, so we will go ahead and understand what a definition of square would convey. Okay, so a square is a four-sided polygon. What is a square? It is a four-sided polygon. It is a polygon that has got four sides, okay, in which all four sides are equal. So the length of every single side in a square is equal. If you have a polygon with four sides and the side lengths are not equal, then that cannot be a square. Okay, and all four interior angles are right angles or 90 degrees. So there are a few words which might be confusing for you. Number one, polygon, right? Four-sided is pretty clear. Polygon might be confusing for some of us. Okay, then we have got four sides. We'll take a look at what four sides are. Then you have a word called interior angles and right angles. We will talk about all of these terms in a bit. Okay. Now let's start with polygon. What is a polygon? The definition of a polygon is it's a closed two-dimensional shape. It's a closed two-dimensional shape made up of three or more straight line segments connected end to end, right? So a polygon is a closed two-dimensional shape. That means it cannot be open, it has to be closed, and it is made up of three or more straight lines. So if you see here, we have four, so it definitely qualifies to be a polygon in the first place. Okay, now we are talking of line segments. Line segment is basically a line that has a definite starting point and end point. It has got two end points. That is what is called a line segment, and all these line segments that form the shape of the polygon, they need to be connected end to end. Okay, so now that we understand it, we will go ahead and look at an image of a square and try to make sense of this definition so that we have a pretty structured way of approaching this learning. Okay, now this is a square. This is what you see, a square, right? Now let's go back to the definition. A square is a four-sided polygon. A square is four-sided. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four-sided, so it qualifies. It is a polygon. So a polygon is a closed two-dimensional shape. This is two-dimensional shape. It is closed. It's not open, right? It's closed, and it is made up of three or more straight line segments. This is made up of four line segments, as you can see. And a line segment is this. It has a definite start point, a definite end point. Okay, so this is a line segment, this is a line segment, this is a line segment, and this is a line segment. So four of these line segments combined create this polygon called square, and each of those line segments are connected end to end. You can see that the beginning of this line segment is connected to the beginning or end of this particular line segment, and so on, right? So you can see that this qualifies as a polygon, number one. And it's a special type of polygon where you have got four sides, right? And each of these sides are of equal length. Okay, that is what we see. All four sides are of equal length. As you can see, they look as if they're equal. If they are unequal, then it cannot be a square. Okay, now another criteria that needs to be met for a polygon to be a square is that the interior angles. What are interior angles? These are interior angles. Do you see that this line and this line, they are at an angle to each other? This line segment and this line segment are at an angle to each other. This one and this one are at an angle to each other, and same is the case with these two. So these are called interior angles, and they must be perpendicular to each other, or they must be right angles. They must be at 90 degrees. Okay, so if you take a protractor and measure this angle, this will be 90 degrees. Without satisfying this criteria, this cannot be called a square. Okay, now that was the lexical meaning of what a square is, and I showed you what each term means in the context of this particular image. But in general, I'm sure you already understand what a square is, so we will move forward to the next step. Now, this is a way of representing a square. You might find some worksheets where you will have this kind of a representation. Now let us go ahead and take a look at another possible representation that you would find in the worksheets. The reason I'm showing this, even though this might look like we are going through some basic math, is because it's important for you to understand the kind of variety and variations you can include in your books, and at the same time, those should be speaking the same language that teachers, homeschooling parents, and students learning the concepts speak, right? So this is also a way in which you will present a square, and these are all called vertices, right? This is a vertex, this is a vertex, this is a vertex, this is a vertex. So they can be named. So this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. This is how you can name the vertices, and oftentimes these come in handy in naming a side. So for example, if you want to showcase or use this particular side, you can say AB. Like you can write AB, and that would basically represent this particular side. Okay. Now in this particular case, AB is equal to BC. That is because a side in any two sides in a square would be equal to each other as far as the length is concerned. So you can say AB is equal to BC, right? So those are the reasons. I mean, those are the representations that you will see in some worksheets when you do your research for squares. All right, so you've got A, B, C, and D. These are called vertices, and these have been named as A, B, C, and D. Now moving forward, at some places you will find representations like this as well. Instead of naming the vertices, what you're doing is you're naming the side itself. So you have got a side A here, you've got a side B here, you've got side C here, and you've got side D here. So if somebody asks you, is A equal to B? Is A equal to B? The answer would be yes. Because in a square, sides would be equal, so A has to be equal to B. Now, as you can see, we have seen three different ways in which you can represent or you can expect the geometric shape to be shown. Now, here is another concept that you might bump onto in some worksheets. Now, if you see here, we've got a square as usual, and we've got a line intersecting this. We've got a line intersecting this. Please ignore the white space that is there, to separate them. That is not necessary at all. But this shows that all the lengths are equal. This particular mark shows that the opposite sides are equal. For example, this one and this one, they are of equal length. This one and this one are of equal length, and because we have one line here and one line here, all of these are of equal length. Okay, so these are some variations, these are some designs, these are some layouts you will observe in the workbooks that you see for square, and in addition to that, you will be using these for creating variety in your worksheets as well as we move forward with the geometry niche. All right, so it is very important for us to understand the basics of what the shape is all about. Okay, now as I said, this might be basic, very basic for a few of us, but let's not forget that we may have a number of people in our community who would love to get into the niche, and math or geometry in particular may not be their forte. All right, so for that reason, we will go slow. We'll go very slow as far as the learning process is concerned, and then we will eventually move to the applications, showcase how the application makes it a no-brainer for you to create this kind of worksheets. All right, so that is it for this particular video. In the next video, what I'm going to do is build on the perimeter and area calculations associated with squares. Okay, now what I'm going to do is so that's what we are going to do. And once we complete that, once we discuss this out completely, then we will move on to the application, where I'll show you some variations that we have in place so that you can take advantage of the opportunity and create quality geometry, perimeter and area books using the square shape and kind of get them on KDP. Hey, welcome to video number 2 in this series, where we are looking at the geometric shape square. And in the last video, we went through the process of understanding what it means, what's the definition of square, and what are the different types of images that you would come across when you are researching for worksheets, perimeter and area worksheets for squares. Okay, now if you have not watched that video, I would strongly recommend go ahead and watch it, because that is very important, especially if you are new to these concepts. Okay, now in this video, we'll build on the knowledge that we gathered in the previous one. The properties of a square. Number 1, all 4 sides are equal in length. All 4 angles are right angles. The moment these 2 properties are qualified, the moment these 2 requirements are fulfilled, you are rest assured that you have a square in hand. Any one of these missing, will be problem. It will not be a square anymore, right? Now there are a lot of other properties of a square that can be defined, but we are going to keep it super simple and just focus on the bare bones over here. All right, now moving forward, let's talk about perimeter and area relationships. If you're freaking out thinking about formulas, thinking about complicated stuff, don't. All right, don't, because I'm making an assumption that we do not know a lot of what we are trying to create, right? But we are willing to put in the effort, right? Bring in the age-old elbow grind and kind of learn what needs to be learned in order to create a nice little passive income stream for ourselves using the in-demand geometry books category, or by creating a catalog in this particular niche. All right, so what is perimeter and what is area? Let's understand that first. Now imagine this is a field, this is a park. Okay, this is a park and you are going for a walk. So if you walk around this, you are not going to walk randomly, right? you are going to follow the path that is here. You will be covering the perimeter. So the perimeter of an enclosed area is basically the outline of that one. So if this is 4 meters, this is 4 meters, this is 4 meters, and this is 4 meters, I'll add all of these to arrive at the perimeter. So the definition of perimeter, the calculation of perimeter would be side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4, right? All the side lengths added up will give you the perimeter. Now, in case of a square, you know that side 1 is equal to side 2 is equal to side 3 and that is equal to side 4. What does that mean? That means you have any given length or any given number that is added 4 times or that number multiplied with 4 to give you the perimeter. That's how you calculate the perimeter. The unit of perimeter would be the unit of the side. So if the side is in meter and you want to express perimeter in terms of meter, the unit would be meter over here. So for example, 4 meter here, 4 meter here, 4 meter here, and 4 meter here, total 16 meters. So the perimeter would be meters. Okay, the unit for the perimeter would be meters. Now what is area? Area is as the name suggests, in the physical world, it is the area that is surrounded by this particular outline. Anything that is inside of this is called the area, right? Inside of this is called the area. This entire thing is called the area. And the way you calculate the area for a square is you multiply this by this. You multiply one side with another to come up with the area. So if this is 4 meter and this is 4 meter, you would multiply 4 times 4, that would be 16, and meter into meter, that would become meter square. It's called meter square or square meters. Okay, so that is the unit of area. Note the difference between the unit of perimeter and area. Area is expressed in terms of unit square or square units, and perimeter is expressed just like any other length because it is what it is. It is the length at the end of the day, right? So the area is calculated by side into side, which is L into L. L is an expression I have used to represent the side. It could be anything. It could be 4 meter, it could be 5 meter, it could be 2 centimeter, it could be anything, right? So whatever your side is, that multiplied by itself will give you the area, because in a square, the moment you know one side, you know all other sides are also of that dimension. So this is what is meant by perimeter and area. So let's take an example. A square with side 4 meter. Perimeter would be side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. Now, when a square is given with side 4 meter, you know all sides. Side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4 would be 4 meter long, and that basically means you add 4 meter with 4 meter with 4 meter and 4 meter to get 16 meters. Okay. Now, when it comes to area, what you do is you take the side and multiply it with the side, right? That is what we learned about area calculation. The formula is side times side. That is 4 times 4, giving you 16 as the number, and the unit is in meter square, right? So this is an example of how you would go about calculating perimeter and area from a square whose side is given, right? Now, how do you go ahead and structure your perimeter and area worksheets? So from here, you might have understood that if we provide the side of a square, we can ask the child to calculate the perimeter. That is spot on, that is correct. You could also possibly have thought that you give the side of a square and ask the child to calculate the area, because area can be calculated from the given side. You are spot on with that as well. But the thing is, there are variations that you could create or use in order to build fluency, in order to help the child think more and be comfortable with the concepts of calculation of perimeter and area for a square. So these are the various options that you could possibly go for, right? Number one, case number one, the side is given, okay? So you have given the side over here and you ask the child to calculate the perimeter. So what the child is going to do is add the side given 4 times or multiply the side with 4 to come up with the perimeter. That's what this case 1 is all about. Case number 2, just flip the problem statement. Instead of giving the side, let's give the perimeter. Let's give the perimeter and let us ask the child which number, when added to itself 4 times, right, would lead to the number or lead to the value that is given as the perimeter. For example, if the given perimeter is 16, what number added 4 times would lead to 16? The answer would be 4. Or a better way of representing would be what number multiplied by 4, because another way of representing a perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. So what number when multiplied by 4 would give 16 as the perimeter, and that would give you the side. So what did we do here? We took the standard problem of side given perimeter calculated and we flipped it to increase the difficulty level a bit so that the child can answer this and look at the problem from a different perspective altogether. Right? Case number 3, side is given, area is to be calculated. How is this done? Imagine the side is 4 meter. So the area would be 4 times 4, which is 16 meters square. This is what we have here. When you've got the side, you multiply that with itself to get 16 meters square or whatever area is required. Now we'll flip that. We'll give the area and we'll ask the child to find the side. So when area is given, we need to ask the child what number multiplied with itself would give the number given as the area, and that is what would lead us to the side. Okay, so this is how we will build these layers of complications in our worksheets so that the child gets a complete 360-degree view of the problem statement, gets comfortable with its various forms, and feels confident when it comes to solving problems. Okay, now what we are going to do is extend this even further. We are going to think of a case where the perimeter is given. Think about this. The perimeter is given and we ask the child to find the side. Now, because they have got enough practice about this in case number 2, where the perimeter is given and the side is to be calculated, the child feels comfortable doing that. But what we do instead is, instead of asking just for the side, we ask that perimeter is given, give us the area. So what the child does is takes the perimeter, calculates the side, and then uses the side calculated to give the area, right? So that is what we have in case number 5. Perimeter is given, side is to be calculated, and then the area to be calculated from the side. Okay, so essentially we give the perimeter and we ask the child to give us the area, and then we flip it. We give the area is provided, and from this area child is supposed to calculate the side first, which is what they have got enough practice in case number 4. And then once they have done that, once the side is available, the child can go ahead and calculate the perimeter. So essentially this becomes area given, perimeter to be calculated kind of a problem. These are the various scenarios you need to keep in mind in order to create worksheets that are comprehensive, that provide an all-round experience to the child when working with perimeter and area worksheets or problems for squares. Okay, now what we're going to do is, in the next video, I'm going to take you through the application and show you how you can craft this without having to think, right? How you can craft this in a guided manner, how you can craft this easily in a matter of minutes or seconds for that matter, and create content that you feel very comfortable with, and you are confident of sharing that through your KDP catalog. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know in the Facebook group, and we can discuss that out. Thank you.